Have you actually sat back and say, what is the usefulness of a life cover? If we're being honest, how many of us sit back and say, Shilly boy, I hear you. You're an advisor. You look after my wealth. You tell me about financial advisory. You tell me about tax advisory. You look at my estate. You holistically look at my wealth. You manage my wealth. But what is this life cover that you always talk about? What is the value for it? How is it so important in a clear, concise, and specific manner? Now, let me give you a scenario. Let me respond to you with that. You are a property investor. You listen to Shilly Boy video to say, Shilly Boy says, buy properties in a company. You bond your properties, you go there, you sit as surety, for surety with the bank, and then bank grants you bond. Then later on, God forbid, you passes on, say 5 years later, that business still has a bond. Will you agree with me that because there's no longer someone who stood for surety with the banks are going to say, hang on, Mr. Company A, who's now going to replace this deceased? If your children are still minors, or if your children might be working but don't have affordability, when we replace them, when we replace you having passed on as a director, or your wife does not have affordability, will you agree with me that potentially the bank will be reluctant on that? That's the conversation that needs to be had. And the bank will say, we need someone who's going to replace this deceased. That's why it's so important. So how about then this business take life cover or a key personal insurance cover so that when this person passes on, we can look for succession. We can even cover these bonds. Why not consider things like that? Where then we clear off these things. There's a strategic way to do this. Consider a situation also where you partnered with a person in this business. You call partner investing in this business with this person. What happens if this person passes on? His estate now comes and claim his shareholding. Let's say he owns these shares in his personal name. What will then happen? How will you even finance these properties? His share, how will you finance it and buy him out and then pay into his estate, deceased estate? How will you do that? Where will you get money? Because in most cases, we are asset rich. Most property investors are asset rich, but you find that they're not liquid rich, in a sense that you don't have assets that can easily be converted into cash. Yes, property can sell it, but it can take longer. And these guys, when they're winding up their estate, they are pressed against time because there are timelines that things need to be reported to SARS, masters, and all those things. Right. Now, let's also look at a scenario where you've got properties in your name. You build property portfolio in your name, you pass this on. Yes, the bond is outstanding. What will then happen? This is where the bank will come and say, we need the money because the person we gave the loan passed on. There will be a claim. So what then happens? When if you took life cover, this is where then that life cover can come handy. And then we settle all these outstanding bond. If your family wants to keep those properties, because you may find that they're actually profitable, but they are not profitable enough to settle the bond. It's possible, right? So this is where things like life covers can potentially come, by the way. So if you want to sit down with me and so that I can guide you on some of the applicable or appropriate covers, you're more than welcome to reach out to me. My details are on my profile, and let's have that conversation. Let's look at your estate. Let's look at your needs in detail so that when we understand and we recommend certain policies, certain covers, they actually mean business to you. They actually cover based on your needs and not something that you just listen to my video and then you take as a gospel. We need to look at your needs. We still need to get what is suitable, what product is even suitable. We need to look at what is actually important and to what amount? How exposed are you? So there's a lot that needs to go into the equation before we decide. You're more than welcome to reach out to me. Let's have a conversation. I actually also have a free estate planning consultation going on because we're going towards December and feel good. Use the link on my profile and then book that. It's on a first come, first serve. If there's no longer space, then you might have to book a straight consultation. Okay? Good luck.